Hey everyone, this is Derek Bros with the Conscious Resistance Network, and today we're going to talk about intentional communities, permaculture farms, and why it's time to take action and start doing things. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys to bookmark theconsciousresistance.com to get all of our latest content. You know what the drill is. Subscribe to our email newsletter and make sure you stay up to date. Also, I want to throw a quick shout out to the Fairies Pyjamas, who we've partnered with recently. I showed you guys a picture the other day. They gave me some cool clothes to wear at some of my talks, and if you want to check out their website, you might find something that you like there. So go ahead and support an independent entrepreneur. So this video is related to a video I originally put out back in May 2016. Look how short my hair was then. May 2016, called Launching a Homestead Project in Texas, which was my original intention. And that year, I believe I was putting out my book, the Manifesto of the Free Humans, or maybe I was just starting to work on it. But either way, my third book, Manifesto of the Free Humans, focuses on this topic and how we can have an intentional community. And again, I was planning on doing something like this, a homestead project, permaculture project, off-grid project. I wasn't really sure what I wanted at that time. I was just kind of learning and exploring these ideas. And my plan was to do it in Texas and, kind of in the central Texas area. My mind has since changed, and I'm not I'm not planning on staying in Texas or really maybe even the United States, but I still do have plans to launch an intentional community, homestead project, off-grid project, permaculture farm, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of going to be multiple things, it seems. And you can see here, what I put here was the idea is to form a community of individuals based around the principles of non-aggression, permaculture, and sustainability, or what I call permagora, and mindfulness. And this is something I outline further in my book. The goal is to make the community a hub for education, creation, and networking. The community will focus on becoming independent from all corporate and state systems, power, internet, food, economy, defense, through counter-economic activity. And that is still my plan, very much so, of what I would like to do. And you can see there was a lot of people commenting back then who were interested, and that was kind of cool. And it's been a few years now, and I actually put out another video just in 2018, this one, where my hair is much longer, December 2018, Homestead Intentional Community 2018 update. And just kind of elaborating on how my plans have changed. And here we are now, March 2019, and it's time to get even more serious. I've just returned home from 5 weeks on the road in Mexico and Costa Rica, visiting Punta Mona again. I showed you guys some video from Punta Mona yesterday. Here's another older video, Punta Mona Center, a permaculture paradise in Costa Rica. If you don't know anything about them, you can see the tour I released yesterday and this little short interview with some of the people at Punta Mona. Kind of get an idea of what that's all about and to see kind of what my plans or what I'm being inspired by. I definitely want to incorporate permaculture. I want to incorporate all the things I just mentioned ago. Self-ownership, non-aggression, permaculture, sustainability, regenerative practices, and various mindfulness practices, nonviolent communication, meditation, etc. And I'm totally open to what this could evolve to. Honestly, I'm in a position where I don't really have a lot of financial resources. I'm working on saving up some money so that I could contribute to something like this. But I have more of a network of people who've offered to work with me, people who've said, hey, come do this project on our land in Canada or in Tennessee or in Costa Rica or different places or in Australia. And I haven't taken any of these offers too serious yet. We've had conversations, but I haven't decided, yes, I'm moving to Costa Rica, I'm moving to Canada or whatever. Canada's too damn cold, honestly. Unless we're just talking like a summer thing and I'm leaving as soon as it gets cold. But I know that the options are available. And there are other people who reached out to me via email who've said, hey, I'm an older person and I've got money, but I don't have, the physical labor ability anymore to get out there and to build, but I want to partner with other people or people who have skills and have knowledge to offer, but maybe not a piece of land yet. So many of us are in different situations, and I have a folder full of emails from various people around the world that I'm going to be reaching out to today and tomorrow to let them know that my plan is this weekend to host a conference call available to anybody who's seriously interested. If you're just interested in listening, then please hold off, and I'll probably release the call after this weekend. But if you have money, time, resources, land, ideas, and this is something you want to do within like the next couple of years, like really get serious about this, then please consider being a part of our conference call this Sunday at 3 p.m. Central. I know, as I said, I've been to places like Punta Mona. You guys may remember this. I've been to my grandmother's farm in Kentucky several times, and she's a huge inspiration to me as well. And learning from other communities. And at the point I'm at right now, I'm going to be moving into my RV with my partner towards, the second half of the year. And then by next year, beginning of next year, getting on the road and visiting more intentional communities and really getting serious about finding where we want to go, where we want to be. And it may end up being just something that we do on our own, that maybe we partner with other people to build it, but we really live on our own. I don't know. I have a vision of people who can have enough space to live on a piece of land together, but not in the same house together, not share income, not, I have my own vision, but I want to hear your visions and I want to hear all kinds of ideas, even if we disagree on certain things. Like I said, maybe I won't necessarily work with you, but maybe somebody else in the conference call would be interested in working with you and collaborating with you in different ways. So if you're interested, I'll post a link to the Zoom call in the video description below. But this is just called Intentional Community Exploration. It's time to put the focus on building community, permaculture farms, agoras, and more. This is Sunday, March 17th at 3 p.m. Central. That's US and Canada time. So if you're in Australia, you're going to have to do some time conversion. That might be pretty difficult for you guys. I'm sorry. I know it's like we got people from all over the world. It can't be a perfect time for everybody. But if it is like super like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or something, then, and you can't participate this time, I promise you there will be probably more of these as more interest develops. So again, March 17th, 3 p.m. Central via Zoom, and I'll post the link below so you guys can get on the call. And what I basically plan to do is I'll share my vision more in depth than what I just did. We'll go a little bit deep into what I have in mind, and then we'll just do that. We'll let different people around the call go around and share their visions and their plans and what they have. Or, I have land, I have money, I have resources, I have knowledge, I have skills, whatever, and see who wants to collaborate and who's ready to do this. Because my friends, now I cover lots of different news topics and stories throughout my work with articles and with videos and interviews. There's a lot of crazy things going on in the world, specifically in Western nations, Australia, UK, and where I'm at in the US. The reason I plan to leave the U.S. is because I do not feel confident that there are enough people who would resist mandatory vaccinations, who would resist a forced social credit score, who would resist, a cashless society, who would resist constant tracking and surveillance, people who will resist the war tax, people who will actually speak up and express themselves. For some reason, I just don't feel confident. I know there are those of you out there, but I don't really see in the mainstream society enough of a desire to push and resist against this. I do think there needs to be kind of counter-economic holdout communities that actually resist these things and say, hey, we're not going to have Wi-Fi or the smart grid or the RFID chip or forced vaccinations or what have you in this community. But ultimately, a community is only as strong as what it can defend, right? So let's say right now let's say we did do this in Texas and we build this great thing and put in hundreds of thousands of dollars or who knows how much money and time and energy to build this. And in the next few years, they start saying that they're going to force vaccinate everybody, whether you go to public schools or not, right? And then maybe some people in the community are not ready and willing to say, hey, when they come to our front doors, we're going to resist them. And I don't know what that exactly looks like or what that means, but I'm just saying, I can't be living around or with or near people who don't have the spine to stand up for their own basic human rights and for the rights of their own children and their family and their community. So I'm just thinking in terms of that. I'm not a doomsday prepper. I'm not a doomsayer. I'm not preparing for the end of the world. But I'm also looking around at the situation in the United States, and it doesn't leave me with much optimism for the direction it's headed. And I think that in order for me to be thinking about myself and my family in the future, I need to take these things into consideration. And so I'm looking for a place that might be slightly more free than the US in certain regards. And what I mean by that is have a government that is less restrictive, less invasive, and also just willing to let people kind of live their lives. And that doesn't mean I'm giving up on the United States or I'm running away. It means that I want to be able to build a community in the future that can lay the groundwork for what I call the counter-economic underground railroad to funnel ideas and people and supplies in and out of countries that need help. And this is already taking place around the world, but I have a vision of making it more coordinated and organized. And yeah, so I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm just dreaming of a fiction. But when I go out and see places like Punta Mona and I visit communities in Costa Rica and I see land and I see the intentions and the momentum, I know that anything is possible. It's just about taking those first steps. So it's pretty scary. it feels like, wow, this could be a big thing that I talk about and maybe it fails and it just falls apart. But it seems like one of the most important projects I'll probably ever take on in my life. So why not get serious about it? And if you're serious about it, I hope to hear from you guys one more time, Sunday, March 17th, 2019 at 3 p.m. on Zoom, and the link will be below the video. If you're interested, please get involved, and if not, then you'll get to see the video next week once we post that. I think that's all I got for now, guys. If you're interested in any way, please do email me at derek@theconsciousresistance.com, derek@theconsciousresistance.com, and we can talk, and I'll get you on the call. Until next time, remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free. Peace.